Hello friends, this video on active and passive voice part 8 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So now that we have learned active to passive, let us quickly also look at passive to active, even though this is simpler because when you know how to convert active to passive to active is very simple. But still, let us have a look at some examples. So here is our first example. The horse was frightened by the noise, right? So here, the horse and the noise, they need to be interchanged. That is the first step that we need to do, because from active to passive, when we do, the first thing that we do is we interchange the subject and the object. So here also, when we want to do the reverse back, so there also you need to interchange the subject and the object. So what will happen? This will become the noise and this will become the horse. Now what about was frightened? So the presence of was tells us that it is past tense, right? So since it is past tense and here we have frightened, which is the third form of the verb, right? So since it is past tense, we cannot use the first form of the verb because the first form of the verb is always the present tense, like frighten. So frightened, frightened, frightened. So we will use the second form of the verb. So this would be the noise frightened the horse. So this is our active form. So if you quickly look at this table, whenever you deal with simple past, so in simple past here in the active form, you have the second form of the verb. Whereas in the passive form, you have the third form of the verb. So in this case, the verb is frighten, but for frighten, second form and third form, both are the same. Both are frightened. So that's why you have frightened. Let's look at one more example. The town was destroyed by an earthquake. So your first goal is to interchange the subject and the object. So this becomes an earthquake here, the town here. And what do you have in the middle? Was destroyed by. Was destroyed. So was again tells us that it is past tense. So therefore, for the verb which is here, which is in its third form, you have to use the same verb in its second form, because second form is always about past tense. So destroy, destroyed, destroyed. So here also it would be destroyed. So an earthquake destroyed the town. So again, this was also an example of simple past. The active is in simple past and the passive was plus the third form of the verb. One more example. The president was welcomed by the people. So here first, let's interchange these two. The people, the president. Now, was welcomed. Again, was means it is past tense. So you have to use the second form of the verb, which is welcomed. Welcome, welcomed, welcomed. So the people welcomed the president. The next one. Those cars were built by robots. So here if you see, this is the subject and the object and we need to interchange them. So robots, those cars. Now you look at what you have in the verb, were built. So where, presence of where tells us that this is also in the past tense. So we have to use the second form of the verb. So first form is build, second form is built, third form is built. So robots built those cars. Let's look at this one. We shall be blamed by everyone. So here we and everyone, they need to be interchanged. That means everyone and at the end it should be we. Let's just write we for now. Shall be blamed. So this is future. Shall be blamed. So how will shall be blamed be in the active voice? It should be shall blame. So this should be shall blame, right? So let's write shall blame. But do you think this sentence is correct? No. First of all, we use shall only with I, we. Only with that we use shall. But for all others, we use will. So we need to replace shall with will. So everyone will blame we. Is that a correct statement? No, it should not be we. It should be us. So everyone will blame us is the correct active form of this sentence. And finally, the last example. He will be greatly surprised if he is chosen. Now this one is a little tricky sentence. He will be greatly surprised. So this is in the passive form because he is not doing anything. He is just getting surprised. So somebody else is surprising him. If he is chosen, so here also he is not choosing himself. Somebody else is choosing him. So both part of these sentences need to be put in the active form. So how do we do that? He will be greatly surprised. So we can write it like this. It will greatly surprise him. So it will greatly surprise him. Because in this case, it shows that it will greatly surprise him. So this it is doing something. Now what is this it? We do not know because that is not given in the sentence. So it will greatly surprise him if they chose him. So it will greatly surprise him if they choose him. So you see, if you look at this sentence, in the passive form, this they was not mentioned explicitly. This it was not mentioned explicitly. But when you try to write it in the active form, then it becomes important to include them. So it will greatly surprise him. Because in this case, he is not the doer of the action. He is just like the object. He is the one on which that action is being done. He is not doing the action. So it will greatly surprise him if they chose him. Because whatever is being done is done by them. He is not doing anything. So this is how the active form will look like. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.